$66 billion. That's how much more money Canada's government plans to spend this year compared to what it collects in taxes. 66 billion in a single year. And Canada's total national debt is over $1.2 trillion with a T, trillion. Now, should you be panicking? Should you be outraged? Or is this actually normal? That's exactly what we're unpacking today on KP Money Talks. No politics, no spin, just the facts and what they actually mean for you. Let's start with the most important distinction, the difference between a deficit and a debt. Because people use these words interchangeably all the time, and they are not the same thing. Think of it like your own household budget. Say you earn $60,000 a year but spend $70,000. That's a $10,000 gap. The difference between what you earn and what you spend in 1 year, that's a deficit. Now, if you do that year after year, borrowing to cover up the gap, the total amount you owe builds up. The accumulated total, that's your debt. For Canada, the debt this year is $66 billion. That's the gap between government revenue and spending in 2026. The national debt is over $1.2 trillion. That's the total Canada has borrowed or owes over decades. These are two different numbers. Both matter, but in very different ways. Here's the question most people immediately ask. Why doesn't the government just spend less? Well, that's a fair question. But governments spend money differently than households do. Sometimes spending more is actually the strategy. Here's why. When an economy slows down, like Canada's right now, growing at just 1.2% in 2026, the government steps in as a spender of last resort. It builds infrastructures, creates jobs, funds social programs. This injects money into the economy and tries to prevent a full recession. It's the same logic as a business taking out a loan to expand. You borrow now with the expectation that growth pays it back later. Canada's government is also spending on the things like Canada Groceries and Essentials Benefit, housing programs, and a new $25 billion sovereign wealth fund, all designed to stimulate the economy and support Canadians under financial pressure. Well, there's another side of the argument. Critics say this level of debt is reckless, especially when interest rates aren't at rock bottom anymore. Canada's debt is now 41.2% of its GDP, meaning our debt is almost half of everything the entire country produces in a year. Here's where it gets really interesting. Does a 1.2 trillion debt actually matter? Well, the honest answer, it depends. Economists look at debt not just as a raw number, but a percentage of GDP. Canada's debt to GDP ratio is around 41%, which is actually lower than the United States at over 120%. Japan at nearly 250%, and even the UK is way beyond ours. In that context, Canada is in relatively manageable shape. But here's the catch. Interest rates have gone up. Canada is now paying significantly more just to service its debt, meaning the interest alone is costing tens of billions of dollars a year. That's money that can't go towards healthcare, housing, or education. And if rates rise further, which some analysts are predicting for late 2026, the interest bill grows even more. Think of it like carrying a credit card balance. When the interest rate was 2%, it was manageable, but when it jumps to 5%, suddenly the minimum payment alone is painful. So what does Canada's deficit actually mean for you, the everyday Canadian? Well, the short-term answer is, we're unlikely to feel it directly today. The government isn't going bankrupt tomorrow. Programs and services will continue. In medium-term answers, high debt can mean higher taxes down the road or cuts to public services as future governments deal with repayments. Your healthcare, public transit, and pension programs are all tied to government finances. And the long term implication is if debt keeps growing faster than the economy, it constrains future options. Less money for climate investments, less flexibility in a crisis, and potentially higher borrowing costs across the whole economy, including your mortgages. The most important thing you can do right now is stay informed and vote, because the decisions being made in Parliament today are literally shaping the financial world your kids will inherit. So here's the recap. A deficit is a single year's gap between what the government earns and spends. Debt is a total buildup of those gaps over time. Canada's $66 billion deficit and $1.2 trillion debt are large, but not unusually dangerous compared to other wealthy countries. The real concern is rising interest costs and whether the spending leads to actual growth. In the next video, we're breaking down GDP, what it actually means, why economists treat it like a report card for the whole country, and what Canada's modest 1.2% growth forecast tells us about where we're heading. Drop a comment below, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Give me a like, and I'll see you in the next one.